Alright, we're gonna come for Havoc number 2 in Instagram. I don't have a lot of time. The sky's looking funky. And it very well may rain before I even get started. So if that happens, everything's getting cut off. Alright, so earlier today I touched on some shit that I need to say and things that I need to do. And I need to point this out really, really quickly. This is a martial arts video. Alright? And not everybody with a black belt is a great martial artist. And some of us people who don't have belts, being that I am a product of the 80s and 90s, and I was lied to about a lot of stuff that prevented me from getting my foot in the door and getting doors open and things that I didn't know that I did learn from Rob at McDojo Life. So thank you, Rob, for that. But I'm kind of upset at about a lot of things that a lot of martial artists are doing out here and putting out martial art videos in general. Alright? What the hell is that square thing? Oh, part of the computer. Sorry. Anyway. Sometimes I be dumb. Anyway, long story short. Alright. A lot of people don't seem to understand how martial arts worked in America before everybody else knew it. So that's why I'm here. My relic ass is about to give you a martial art history lesson that apparently other martial arts seem to have forgotten. This thing about size matters. I'm sorry. I'm going to offend all you guys that's 6'2" and above. Size matters. It's bullshit. Skill level matters. Your fighting experience matters. The knowledge that you have obtained while fighting in all fights, whether it's a controlled environment or a street fight, matters. I'm 5'3". I promise you. I can handle anybody. 6 foot, whatever. Your size doesn't mean shit to me. In fact, the bigger you are, the better I like it, because the bigger you are, I got two things working in my favor. One, you're bigger than me, and you just know that you're going to whoop my ass. You're going to underestimate me, and I'm going to win, because you're bigger than me. And every person that I fought from the age of 6 to 12 has been bigger than me. Every person I fought that whole week when I was 15 has been bigger than me. The only person that's gotten lucky that's been bigger than me was the guy that tagged me in the face while I was trapped in a seatbelt in a van that my cousin stole that I was driving. Alright? That's pretty much my fight record right there. I've never lost a fight outside of my big sister beating my ass on a daily basis when she fucking felt like it. Other than that, nobody whose ass I've kicked has come back for another round. I choked the guy in this park behind me when we first moved over here when I was 16 years old. Wasn't too long after my 16th birthday that the guy wouldn't let me go home, and he was every bit of 300 pounds and every bit of 6 foot even, and I was every bit of maybe 5'2". So in that time we were living here, I got 1.5 inches taller, and I stayed at 120 pounds until I joined the military. Now I'm back at 120 pounds because of my hip replacement and other things like depression. So let me break it down for y'all. When martial arts first came here, the first time people actually discovered martial arts is when the gates of Japan opened up to the world. That is bullshit. I think the very first time that people discovered martial arts is when somebody tried to fuck up a Chinese immigrant and found out that that was not the right thing to do, when that motherfucker got his ass beat. Of course, that would later lead to other issues, but we won't go there because you don't need to know that whole dramatic history clusterfuck. But I can tell you this. Back in the day, when Chinese guys was my size, maybe a little taller, maybe a little leaner, a whole lot more cut, when the world seen them as not so much macho men. Those tiny little Japanese men and tiny little Chinese men and tiny little Vietnamese men were beating the dog shit out of the Guai Lo and the Gaijin and the black men. So before you think for a New York minute, your size is a factor. Your size is a factor when it comes to dick and vagina. That's it. When it comes to a fight, an honest to God truly fight, whether you are in an arena, which is a controlled environment with rules, or whether you are on this street where there are no rules. The only thing that matters in a fight is your skill level. Because you can be a badass. You can be a big bad motherfucker and can't fight your way out of a wet paper bag when it comes down to time to be rolling. Now there are a lot of different martial arts with different body types, and I'll be the first one to tell you, if you're 5'2" to 6 feet, Kung Fu is more for you. If you're 6'2" to 6'8" to 7 feet, Kung Fu really ain't for you because the moves are more for close-quartered combat. Most people don't know this about martial arts, so they'll just teach you, get in your fighting stance, punch, punch, kick, kick, side kick, jumping front. You know the drill. But the problem is, here's how fights work. If I kick you and you block it and you kick me and I don't get back up, you've won the fucking fight. That can happen the other way just as easy. If I kick you and you don't block and you don't get back up, you've lost the fight. Because you didn't get back up to defend yourself. And there's no telling if I'm going to be that brutal pussy bastard that's going to jump down on you and just start wailing at you. Or if I'm going to be that guy with honor. I've knocked you out. Fight's done. Walking away. But I'm not turning my back on you because you might get up and try to break my spine. There are many different things about martial arts. Then martial artists, rather they be here on Instagram, or rather they be on YouTube, or rather they be anywhere on any social media, are leaving out a lot of stuff. Martial arts was invented for little guys to beat up big guys. When the big guys started learning how that shit worked, martial arts became less effective. Henceforth, as a kung fu person, I'm not going to try to outfight a sumo wrestler using sumo style, knowing that I can't budge him out that fucking circle. Okay? Now, if I'm against a sumo wrestler who's 5'20", 5 feet, 120 pounds, I got a fighting chance because we're weighing the same. But if he's 6 feet and 120 pounds, I still got a fighting chance because we weigh the same. There's so many different factors in a fight, and size is not one of them. Your skill level in a fight is more important than your size, than the weapon that you are wielding. Because a weapon that you don't know how to use ain't a weapon. It's just something that somebody's going to take from you and whoop your ass with it and possibly kill you if they know what they're doing. Your skill level will be the most important thing in a fight. The more you practice, the better your skills. The more opportunities you get because of your skills, you often wind up being at the level that I would love to be at. But I'm not there yet because in my 20s, UFC didn't have a 120-pound class. And that was way back in 1993. UFC didn't get a 120-pound class till 2010 when I was enlisted and faced down at Fort Benning, Georgia. Now here's what I learned at Fort Benning, Georgia. They taught us Taekwondo in Bravo. What did I learn in golf? Nothing, because I tried to kill a drill sergeant and then I was in Delta. In Delta, I learned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I took away from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I took away how quickly I can get my ass handed to me if I'm on my back. I also made a friend of me by headbutting him in the testicles every time the drill sergeant wasn't looking. And to that fellow soldier, I'm sorry, but in real life, I'm not going to let you get me on my back. Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu only works if I'm on my back, or if you're on your back and I got side mount, side control, full guard, etc. I'm not knocking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm just saying that shit's not for me. But also, I've showed you demonstrations on how to stop someone from taking you to the ground. Because if they're going for a double underhook, which is the sweep both your feet like in wrestling, or they're going for a single leg, you can knee them when they come down. It's a straight up Muay Thai knee. Boom! They're coming to grab that leg. Give it to them. Boom! If that doesn't work and they still grab the leg, you can elbow them because their head and their eyes aren't always going to be on you while they're getting this target. Let's keep the shit real. If you trying to grab my leg, I'm not going to lay there and let that shit happen. And if I can't prevent it, I'm damn sure going to roll with it. Judo has a lot of ground rolling. Not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not Jiu-Jitsu, but Judo. They have a lot of ground rolling where if you come tackle me and I don't have the strength to resist it, then I have to go with it. Because in Judo, if you are pulling me, I don't resist. You're pulling me, so I push you to try to turn your momentum into my momentum. If you're pushing me, then I pull, twist, turn, hip toss. There's a thing to it. Aikido, same shit. Only a little bit more grappling involved. So the more martial arts you study, the more well-rounded you are, the better your chances are surviving a fight. Especially when you're a small guy like me. So don't get stuck in just Wing Chun, snake, and crane. Don't get stuck there. Dragon, tiger, don't get stuck in one martial art. Learn as many of those motherfuckers as you can. God, I hope that wasn't shit. Let me check. Can't stop live TV. Okay. Wasn't shit, but it was a wet leaf. So I need to hurry up. The point I'm making is, a kick is a kick and a punch is a punch. But whatever martial arts you're taking, they should be telling you where to land that kick, where to land that punch. And then everything else has to take its course. Because two things are going to happen in a fight. One, somebody's going to get hit. Two, somebody's going to get hit again. Three, if you're not able to recover from getting hit, you are going to lose. Why can't I wave to you? There it is. The problem is, your size counts this much in a fight. This much. Your skill level is everything. And I'm not talking about, oh, you have a black belt. I got a brown one right here that holds up my pants. But if I take this sumbitch off, I got a weapon. I got a buckle. I got a noose. I got whatever I need. But they don't teach you that in a lot of these schools. And a lot of people that are making these martial art videos tend to leave off some true live shit. But yet, I don't have a black belt. I've never been in a professional fight. But I've been in a lot of motherfucking street fights. I've had people break pop bottles. I've had people come at me with sticks with nails in them. And there are ways to avoid this shit, you know. I don't have a mouth. I never ran my mouth. I just was the right guy at the wrong place at the right fucking time. But if you're going to learn martial arts, your size should not be a factor. But your size should be something that a teacher who's going to teach you a martial art should advise you on what martial arts to take. Alright? My rule is really simple. If you're 6 feet and below, Kung Fu is the way to go. If you're 6 feet and above, every other martial art will give you love. And the reason why 6 feet is that plateau. Alright? Let me explain it. See, a 6 foot guy, I'm 5'3", so that gives him 7 inches over me. That makes him 6 even. Now, they're more adaptable to more martial arts. Kung Fu is more close quarter. Not so much about power, but more about close quartered combat and direction, so that I can break your elbow a lot faster than trying to beat your ass to death because I don't have the strength to do so. But if you throw a jab and I sidestep, I push on your elbow and pull your forearm and snap your elbow and switch from Kung Fu to karate and use the powerful knee versus the direct knee, I'm still going to fuck you up. But if I try to out-karate you, block and counter, we're going to be blocking and countering all day. But if I break with that block, break, boom, an elbow, you have to understand how martial arts work. For certain martial arts, there are times where you will use Kung Fu. Block, break, strike, and knee. All those were Kung Fu. Block, break, strike, that's still Kung Fu. And then I switched to karate because I use the leg that has the furthest away for the torque to add the power to the elbow or to the knee. And that was a knee, so I know my targets. For Kempo, I was taught wherever there's a joint, there's a pressure point. You have 365 of them. 250 will fuck you up. No one believes in pressure points. That's fine. I don't believe in pressure points for the Chinese movie purpose, but I do believe in pressure points for pain and compliance. So if you throw a punch and you do the Steven Seagal break, which is always the forearm or the inner arm, versus the Kempo break, which I was taught, the elbow, you're pushing this way, pushing in this way, so you can be pulling because you're on the outside. So you pull the wrist and push the elbow, which will look more like this versus this. Then from there, you're going to hit in a rib, you're going to hit in the throat. If a person can't breathe, and it doesn't matter if they're 6'3" to 5'2", if a person can't breathe, they can't hurt you. It's rule number 1. Stop the breath. Stopping the breath doesn't necessarily mean stop their life, but it means stop the breath. Person can't breathe, they're not doing too much to you because they're gasping for air, which goes back to, it doesn't matter how big you are, if you can't breathe, you can't hurt me. And again, my favorite rule, the bigger you are, the harder I get to hit you. That just means I don't have to hold back. Because there are a lot of big guys out here that are macho and tough. And a lot of them will look at me and say, oh, we're going to fuck Pee Wee Herman up. He's the biggest target when he walks in the room. And why am I Pee Wee Herman? Because I'm small. Never had to get into a bar fight because I know the rules. 5 doors in the building, I see them all. I know how to get out, with hopefully out having to hurt someone. But in the event that I do, now that I also have military training to my repertoire, I can simply tell you this. I'm going out that door, and I'm going home. The question is, are you going to let me walk out the door, or am I going to have to walk through you to get there? Because if I have to go through you, you go into the hospital or you go into the morgue, and I'll just deal with the aftermath after that. Pure and simple. Big guys are tough. No kidding. But little guys, we're just as tough. And we're a lot more dangerous because we live with Napoleon syndrome, which means we always think big guys are going to try to fuck us up. Y'all don't think like we think. Y'all look at us and be like, he's nothing. I can throw him across the room. If you can get your hands on me, you probably can. But if you can get your hands on me, that kind of means you're close enough for me to get my hands on you. Good shot to the sternum, good shot to the throat, jab the eyes, rip off the nose, grab an ear. Hey, I know what the fuck I'm doing. The bigger you are, close combat is not good for you, especially against a guy like me. Your skills levels will always be the most important factor in a fight. If I throw this side kick and you duck it, since I was holding it up Taekwondo style, it would be a good thing for you to come down with a ball breaker. My fight is done, and I'm going to be talking like this for a while. If I'm still conscious while you're kicking a mud hole into my ass. There's the reality of fighting. This does not stop the fight. If I miss that kick, I'm in trouble. Simple as that. I'm in trouble. But that works both ways. If you throw the same kick and I block and I strike, you're in trouble. But my favorite would be break, sweep the foot, fall down on your crotch, and then hit you in the throat. That would be my combo. Because I know that's going to stop you. Because I've broken your knee. The same way that I would do it with your fist. When you throw that punch and I sidestep and I pull here and push here, which is pulling at the wrist, pushing at the elbow, your arm is designed to do this. Not this from the opposite direction. Your leg works in the same principle. So if I grab your leg, push the knee and pull your calf and sweep your foot, I've broken your knee before I swept your foot. And most of that will probably be your fault because you're going to try to kick me with everything you got. So let's say you kick me and I punch your knee right in the cusp of that teardrop. Boom! With just a little bit of power. I don't have to add enough because you've already done it when you've done this. When you pop that sucker out there and I pop that bitch back. It's going to be a done deal that your leg is going to get broken. And healing from a knee, ask anybody who's had a knee replacement, it's not fucking fun. Broken femur, that's going to heal a little bit quicker than a broken knee. Because a knee is a joint. You have to work that sumbitch. If I break that sumbitch, you ain't going to be working it much. You'll probably be bedridden for a little bit, and that works for me. Because you should have thought about that shit before you tried to kick me. Now, let's say we both kick each other and we catch each other's foot. We got a situation here. Because if we're both holding each other up, we're either both going to have to let go at the same time, or somebody's just got to do something real drastic. I don't have time for drastic shit. I have time for truth. I don't plan on letting you catch my foot. In the other videos I've made about the tornado kicks and stuff like that, stuff that you can actually use. Guy's coming at you, crescent kick, getting your stands, he runs, boom. That's your crescent kick. Outside to inside. Inside to outside. This is your crescent kick, outside to inside. Boom. 9 times out of 10, when the fight starts, your plan goes there. What happens when you plan something, when you plan a fight? That shit never works out. You have it set in your head. You have it in your skull. It's back there. But muscle memory and second nature is a whole different ball game. I've been doing this for a long time. Been doing this shit since I was 7 years old. So I'm going to tell you right now, I've been fighting since I was 6. I've been training in martial arts since I was 7, and I'm 47 now. So you can take advice of others, or you can learn the truth. Truth of the matter is, the second that the street fight breaks off, everything that you've been taught, gone. Because now you have to deal with fear, you have to deal with adrenaline, and more importantly, you have to deal with, you don't know what the fuck the unknown factor that the person you are about to fight knows. So what does size have to do with anything? Absolutely fucking nothing. Your skill level is everything. He's running at you, boom, that's a powerful kick. He runs into a jumping front kick, he has a problem. Unless you miss, then you have a problem. So let's say you missed a crescent kick. I did this last night, we'll do it again. So if you missed a crescent kick, don't tap your foot to the ground. Why does it sound like that dog's like right here? Sorry if the light's blinding you. Just making sure I'm not out here by myself and I hear the dog. Anyway, moving on. Hey, never know. You're never safe no matter where you are. That part is fact. So, crescent kick. Don't touch the ground with your crescent kick. That way, if you miss, it'll still come right back around in recovery. So step. There you go. Cleopatra Jones. Do it with the other leg. You know? I'm pretty quick for a 47-year-old man. So, I don't have no worries. I'm 120 pounds. I know what my body is capable of. I know what my skill level is because I've been fighting in the streets for quite some time. And as the commercial says, when you take June Lee self-defense, then you too can say, nobody bothers me. I did not take June Lee self-defense. I took Taekwondo, I took Kung Fu, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the Army, which I suck at, and a conglomerate of other martial arts, like Capoeira. If I can match you, I can beat you. So if you break into Capoeira, you start going here, I break into Drunken Master. I'm evened up. The only difference between Capoeira and Drunken Master is Capoeira is exceptionally acrobatic. So I don't have the body for that anymore. I have to use my brain. If you're going to bust one of those Capoeira hang-spring backflip things, I'm praying for that. Because the second your back is turned to me, boom, I'm going to use something totally different. And I'm going to keep it basic. I'm going to keep it simple. See, those flurries and those flurries and all the other fancy shit is great for show. It's perfect for show. It's good for sport karate, sport taekwondo, and wushu shows and shit like that. Because it's very flurry, it's very entertaining. It is 100% pointless in the street. Because you're not going to get the chance to do that shit. Not really. So when you check out the wushu shows, you can do that shit if you're fighting someone who does not know how to fight worth a fuck. But in real life, even a person who doesn't know how to fight worth a fuck can still beat a martial artist any day of the week if they are prepared. So again, your size has nothing to do with your skill level. Your skill level is everything. Everything. Now before I end this video, I'm going to do a couple of more kicks and shit and do some more lessons, but the question of the hour is, because only one person's watching, is do you want Kung Fu Havoc number 2 to come to Instagram? Because I've been thinking about moving from YouTube to Instagram because I have a little bit more success on Instagram than I do YouTube. However, I don't want to lose my YouTube channel either, but I'm thinking about copying McDojo Life and bring Kung Fu Havoc number 2 to YouTube. Give me your thoughts on that at the bottom of this IGTV and let me know. So now let's get back to the basics before the rain decides to come in and ruin my video like last night. So, double side kick. High-low, or low-high. It's going to be low-high for me because of the way my leg is now. So there's no more high-low. Honestly, I don't know if I can still do high-low, but low-high works for me because I'm short. So, no. Now, we can try high-low. It's going to look like shit, though. I'll be sure to check that video out later. But that's the thing. If I'm making a movie and I just want to do basics, there you go. If I'm making a movie and I want to get fancy, so I want to work in a sequence, So I take my little fighting stance. Almost slipped. Let's try that again. So, take my fighting stance. We're going to do a sequence of kicks. And those are 3 kicks. They were simple. So we try it again. And this time I'll do a jumping spin kick as the follow-up. See, looks like shit. But for movies and the perfect stuntman, we can work that out so it looks fucking awesome. Now, in real life, your first sequence, boom, you spin. You might be able to pull that off. This one, no guarantees. That first kick, get them. I don't recommend the tornado kick. That first kick, boom, you're already here. So just kick them again. Makes more sense. It's also very simple and basic. Because you went from an outside to inside, basically is a crescent kick, but it's basically a left turning round if you do Taekwondo. So there, for Taekwondo, outside to inside crescent kick. Either way, you're still right there. So you can rechamber, fire, or, you know, you can still do that. That's a simple, basic kick. And the reason why it will work, it's right there. Have a wedgie, I'm sorry. Same thing on this side. Boom. That's basically a turning round, only more Muay Thai style. So I stopped. Now you want to do it the other way. See how it stops and comes in. Those kicks work. They're basic. Front jump kick, front kick. You know, you want to keep it basic. If you're in a street fight right now, you want to keep that shit basic. Also, when you're doing fancy shit, you hear how hard I'm breathing. That's because I've been training earlier. But you hear how hard I'm breathing. It's taking a lot more energy out of me to do that. Where, yep, I just keep that shit simple and keep it basic. Guy runs at you, boom. You know, low range, high range. I'm going to slow him down or I'm going to stop him. Simple as that. I no longer can do wushu. So I can't, boom, do the tornado kick with the landing. That's no longer in my repertoire. The doctor said don't do that shit. Because they don't want to replace this hip again. Alright? Same thing with the reverse tornado kick. Which I can't do, but I'm going to try anyway. So, yeah, I'm not supposed to do that shit. If something goes wrong with my landing, I'm going to the hospital. So, we don't want that. But the point of the matter is, you're not going to get the chance in a street fight to do that tornado kick. Promise. You're not going to get the chance in a street fight to do that reverse tornado kick. You may get lucky, because there's always a chance that you can get lucky in a fight. Anybody who tells you that you can't get lucky, they've never gotten lucky. Which means they're very, very skillful, or they just haven't been fighting. So, as you can see, I'm much better with my feet than I am with my hands. But we're going to transition now. We're going to work with hand movements. Alright? And I'm also going to use knees and elbows, which you've seen earlier when I was talking about breaks. Now, let me break it down for you before I begin. If you're going to do karate, you need to know the difference between doing karate and doing kung fu. As I've told you in other videos, I'll tell you again. Karate, block, power. Understand? Because you get the power with that torque. Now, kung fu, directness. Block, strike. Block, break, strike, kung fu. Now let's say you want to incorporate knees. I'm already right here. So kung fu knee, closest knee to the opponent. So broke arm, grab, knee. If I don't aim at a rib, which in the heat of battle, you're not going to be thinking about that shit anyway. But if I don't aim at a rib, I'm probably just going to piss the guy off. I'm barely going to hurt him. But if I'm in the same position, instead of using the closest knee, I decide to go karate and throw this knee into him and then elbow him, I switch between the two. Because if I throw this elbow, it's kung fu. If I throw this elbow, it's karate because I built up the power when I switched to karate to knee him and then elbow. That would be the karate one. If I knee him and then elbow him, which is really simple, that would be kung fu. Because in kung fu, they teach you to keep it simple, which basically means keep with the basics. You know, because after I elbow in the back of the neck, fight's probably going to be over. No, without question, the fight's probably going to be over. Because there's so many damn things you can do to damage somebody at the neck that no one really teaches you. Now, I've done other videos where I teach you guys the pole technique and the tree technique. And again, I would like to know if you guys want me to bring some of this shit to Instagram. You know, because everybody else is doing it, so I might as well do it too. But, you know, when I started Kung Fu Havoc, it was to make my career for acting take off, which never happened, but I haven't given up. Fight's not over until I stop breathing. The point of the matter is, if you're going to teach somebody something, you need to teach them what they can use. 30% of the shit you learn in the dojo transfers into the street. 25%, maybe 30%, in sports karate and UFC. And the reason why I say that is because in UFC, okay, you got rules. No kicking to the crotch, no deliberate punches to the throat, no purpose arm breaking, no gouging in the eyes, that kind of shit. Do people follow the rules? Not all the time. Y'all know who the rules breakers are. That's why I don't watch the UFC. Same thing with One Champion. Same thing with every sporting event. You know, there are some rule breakers because some people just don't want to take a loss. So they want to poke somebody in the fucking eye. You know? And the referees, half the time, are blind and don't see it because they get the right position. Yeah, I get over here, get my back to you, I jab the guy in the eye. You can barely see my left arm move. So, you know, but in the streets, that shit doesn't matter. But if you're going to be a sportsman, then be a sportsman. Take your loss. I watched a video today of these two kids wrestling. One kid was in red, one kid was in black. The kid in black won the fucking wrestling match. The guy, referee, made them shake hands. The kid in red hauled off and slapped the taste out the kid in black's mouth. The kid in black retaliated with a front kick. He didn't get to catch the kid because the referee got between them and stopped the fight. But I'm more with the kid in black who got the shit smacked out of him for winning the fight. Because he tried to be a good sport about it until the kid in red decided, hey buddy, pow! Bad sportsmanship is not very helpful. I can't wave. I'm trying. There we go. Anyway, the moral of the thing is you got to have good sportsmanship. You have to be able to lose gracefully. Now, in street fights, there's no such thing as losing gracefully. Your ass is just going to lose. You're either going to get your ass beat or you're going to beat somebody's ass. There is no in-betweens. So we're moving on to elbows and knees. And I'm going to tell you, it's a whole lot easier to throw a ridge hand versus a forearm sometimes. It just depends on your positioning. Your positioning in a fight is everything. Guy throws a punch and you block. So you do this and you bring that knee there. That would be more karate. Especially if you're all the way rotated. Now, if you haven't rotated, it can transfer to either one. But if you're here, you push your forearm against this part of his arm, his back side of the tricep here. You know, you can take control. So you have him here, knee, bring him down. And you can also put him in an arm bar from there because you've already pressed his arm. So you have him in a position where all you need to do is press his arm. And you can block him and you can knee him. Or you can block him and then pull this leg in, which would be more kung fu because he's right here. And then you can take him. You have to be able to know how your body's going to throw odd angle kicks. I don't have a training partner, so I can't do the exact demonstration. But if the guy's over here and you get him over here, and he is now in this position, you are over here under his arm. You're holding this arm. So you have one hand here, and you're holding one hand at the base of his elbow, which is back here, because there's pressure points there. So you're holding him, and you're like this. Now he is this way, and you're like this. His whole body, he has to cross his body to defend himself now. You're not going to let that happen because you have him. You can break the arm, or you can throw an odd angle kick from here up there. I like to call it the Ranma kick. If you don't know what Ranma is, you should probably go Google him or her and just stay away from cold water. So, same side, only this side, you have him, he's over here, he's throwing a punch, you've got his elbow, so you can break it and odd angle kick him there. Now, if you don't want to odd angle kick him, and he's already here, so Kung Fu, you can pull him to the knee and knee him, your target, Same side on the other side. But if you're over here and you want to knee him and you want to do karate versus kung fu, you can take the knee this the furthest away and snatch him into it. And if you want to go back to kung fu from there, this would be the elbow. But if you want to hurt him and you want to do karate, you use this elbow because it brings the momentum. Karate works mostly on momentum. Kung fu works on speed and directness. Karate works on momentum and power. And if you can combine both of them, you have a dangerous martial art. Now, for those who do Taekwondo, I can no longer do Taekwondo because I no longer have the leg discipline to keep my foot in the proper position. But Taekwondo has a lot of these fancy ass kicks, so if I'm going, let me get closer, if I'm going to keep doing this, if I'm going to keep paintbrushing your shit, then I'm doing Taekwondo. But eventually my paintbrushing is going to go from here to there, and I'm going to keep it there. Taekwondo has a lot of rechambering. My answer to rechambering is fuck that shit. Simple as that. Fuck that shit. If I'm paintbrushing you, we're done after that second paintbrush. So it's going to be like, boom, boom, boom. I'm switching angles. I'm ending this fight. I'm not going to stand there to give you the opportunity to recover from that paintbrushing and decide, hey, his nuts are wide open. Because they were. If you were looking at my form exactly, let's see if I can imitate it. I'm open. I'm open to getting hit. I'm not holding any part of his body, so I'm paintbrushing. See my arm back there? Not really helping if something comes up at me. My other arm off in the center here. Not really in a blocking position to protect my crotch. So if I paintbrush you, and our arms are like that, you just need to duck. Hit me in the testicles, you just took control of the fight. The thing about street fighting is, there are no rules, and people do get hit in the balls. And if that's the only way you think you can win, then you're going to have to do that. Because it saves you. Now, my advice to you is if you hit someone in the balls, finish them. Because if you give them time to recover, you're fucked. Because not only did you hurt them, you angered them by hitting them in the testicles. Now, I don't know if that works for women. I don't know if women can be hit in the vagina and go down or have orgasms. I don't know how that shit works. But I do know that for a dude, when we get hit in the testicles, automatic reflexes kick in and we go the fuck down. So on the way down, boom, feed him a knee. Feed it to his forehead, not the bridge of his nose. You want to hurt him, not completely try to kill him. Now, if you don't have time to worry about your target, then you worry about it when the police tell you that you accidentally killed this motherfucker. You want to try to hit him in the forehead or just between the forehead and the bridge of his scalp right here. Right between the eyebrows. Because anything right here, you might kill him. And it's a good chance that if you hit his forehead the wrong way, you might break your own fucking knee. And you don't want that. But 9 times out of 10, once you hit them in the nuts, boom, you can give them the knee. And it doesn't matter if you choose to give it to them in the chin or the forehead. I recommend the forehead. But you can give it to the chin. You can break his jaw. I mean, that's an easy win too. But because you're not going to be able to knee him in the throat unless you get really fucking lucky. But you can get really lucky too. So, I mean, go for what you know. But the problem is that you have to actually be in the situation where you can put that person in the paintbrush, where you can put that person in a strike to the testicles or a knee to the face. You have to get there, which is what most martial artists in these videos forget to tell you. Now, they can show you the demonstration and everything, but they don't give you the 1-by-1 or the 5-star checkpoints on this is how you get there. Because sometimes shit don't work like that when real resistance is added. When a person is really trying to fight you, sometimes that shit doesn't work. And sometimes people getting hit in the nuts don't hurt them at all. Because sometimes people just can't feel that shit. And then you have to take into effect that sometimes adrenaline keeps you from feeling pain. And then there's psycho people. If you're dealing with someone who's completely fucking nuts, you're screwed anyway. So you're going to have to do everything you can to stop them. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to bring this to light. A lot of martial artists do not believe in pressure points. I have nothing against what you believe. I can only tell you what I was taught. So I didn't know that there was a Shaolin Kempo. The Kempo I thought was that I took was the only Kempo, but apparently there's more than one type of Kempo. I did not know there was Shaolin Kempo until 2 weeks ago. I've always taken Okinawan Kempo, which is Japanese, which is the shit that Just Speakman does in The Perfect Weapon, I believe. If not, then he does the Korean Kempo, which I also took, because short sticks are also part of the Korean martial art as well. So the thing about having weapons in a fight, don't do it. Don't bring any weapons so they can't be taken from you. That way no one can use them against you. But the thing about fighting, in general, I gotta be able to get through your defenses. Works both ways. If you block everything that I throw, those are short uppercuts. For those who can't see, those are short uppercuts. This is live TV, so I can't do any special effects. I don't even know if my fucking Android has that. But yes, I have an Android. So if I can't get these short uppercuts in, and you're just blocking, I'm running into a problem. So I got to switch my game. Boom, 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 boom. I got to switch my game, which means you're going to have to switch your game. So if I throw this and you're blocking, and I throw this and you're blocking, we're going to be fighting for a while. The problem is street fights generally last 2 to 5 minutes. I've never seen a street fight go more than 5 minutes. I've never been in a fight that gone more than 5 minutes that I can recall. In my defense, I've had some concussions, but they weren't from fighting. They were from me being stupid and a child thinking that I could fly. That shit does not work out. Black superheroes in this world cannot fly. Just wanted to put that out there. That shit's not a fucking joke. I missed my first day of school because I thought I could fly. Thank you, William Katz, in The Greatest American Hero, because I still have the scar over my left eye. Now, again, you have to be able to get through my defenses. So, you're throwing a jab. Sorry. Now, I know I need to speed it up. If you're throwing a jab and I decide to crescent kick it away. So this is your jab. I crescent kick it away. 2 things I need to worry about. When I kicked your hand, where did your body go? Or did I just kick your hand out the way? I need to know the exact position of where you're going to land from that crescent kick from my left leg. So you're throwing a jab, and I rock that bitch. It might just knock your hand back. You still have another hand. You still have the ability to step in and throw that punch. And if I'm not aware of that shit, I'm going to fuck to sleep. But me, I'm going to be aware of that. So I need to know where your ass is going to land. When I throw this shit at your jab, my hand's here for a reason. It's called blocking. Now, let's see. You throw the jab and my hand's not here. That's a jab. Here's my hand. All right, still there for blocking, but it's not where it should be. Just in case. So you have to remember, if I block that jab with this crescent kick, my hand needs to be on my central line. Same thing with the other side. I need to be able to have my hands in a position to protect me from wherever you land. Now, if you're running at me and I throw a crescent kick, I'm setting you up to where I need your body to go. So if you're coming directly at me, I step in and kick you that way, and you come over here, I'm already there. I have options. I have a knee, I have a hand, I have an elbow. I got everything I need in the position that I set you in when I land with that crescent kick. So I land that crescent kick. It connects with your chin. Boom. Now my leg is right here. I can step up. Won't take too much energy to do that. I can grab you and pull you back to me. It won't take too much energy to do that. But what I'm praying for is that when I hit you with this crescent kick, that it's all I needed and that I knocked your ass the fuck out, because I'm old as shit and I like not to have this fight drag on. That being said, you have to know when you kick or punch somebody where the appropriate landing zone is going to be. If I crescent kick you and you fall off to this side, but it's only like a hair fraction of a step from me, I'm going to have to go ahead and finish you off. I can choose to use this knee. I can choose to use this knee. I can choose to use the elbow or fist. I got options. When the fight starts, I already have my game plan in my head. But I throw that bitch out the window because I don't know what you know. All I know is that we're going to fight and I need to survive. I don't need to win. I need to survive. If winning means I gotta stop you from breathing without killing you, then that's what I'm gonna do. If I can get through your defenses. See, fighting works on two principles. Both of the opponents and their skill. It has nothing to do with their height. It's nothing to do with their strength. It has everything to do with your skill level and what the other guy doesn't know. If you both are black belts in martial arts, it's going to be a fun time. But if you're a black belt and this person is not, it's going to be a fun time for somebody. Unless this person knows more than a black belt. And let me explain that before I go. Because in Asia, there were legends in China and Japan. Mostly China are the ones that I know. I can't confirm them because they are legends. But there was a legend of a 4-year-old girl. Ninja Turtles brought it up, and I researched it before, so it's kind of legit. 4-year-old girl who was a prodigy. She'd been training since she was 2. She's the only fucking 4-year-old that was going around beating up on teenagers to adults. Whoever taught her was a bad motherfucker. Again, legends. Some legends, or all legends, have some truth to them. The question is, who was she and what was her name? Because everybody knows Mulan and everybody knows Wing Chun. But I can't remember the 4-year-old girl or if it was China or Japan. And again, legends. Now in America, it don't take much to get a black belt. It really doesn't. I've known kids that were black belts by the age of 10. I've had to do push-ups because of kids that were black belts by the age of 10. When I was taking Taekwondo at the Inner Stairway, Master Ennis, when we first met, and it was downtown, I went to school, and this dude had a green belt and a black belt. And because of his ranking and because I was new to the class, I, being the dumbass, thinking to myself, I'm not going to call this kid sir. Yeah, you have to call him sir. They didn't give me a handbook till the next day, but, I was like, I'm not calling him sir. He's younger than me. Push-ups on your knuckles. So I did my push-ups. And every time I didn't call a person with a belt sir, push-ups on your knuckles. It's part of my Taekwondo thing. Don't ask. I didn't know. It was like the first time for me taking Taekwondo. God damn it. Wave thing didn't work. And you came in late because I'm about to bail. But, eventually I learned the respect of how the thing works. But in America, it's so easy for some people to get black belts versus me. I've beaten black belts in sparring and in training, and I've done shit that black belts have never seen before. But I can't earn a black belt because, you gotta break this brick. You gotta break this block. Somebody tell me, what the fuck does that have to do with being able to fight? Nothing. But if you don't break, you don't get a belt. Which I think is a load of bullshit. Alright? I think it's a load of bullshit. Because one, showing that you can break a brick shows you got a little bit of strength. The downside of that is, it also means you can break your fucking hand. And what happens if you break your hand and get your black belt that day and walk outside and get into a fight with somebody and you don't have your hand that you need because you broke that brick to get that black belt, and somebody's going to take that belt out your arms and wrap that bitch around your neck and beat your ass to death. Because training is very important. It's hard to train when you're one weapon down. I know this because of this big ass scar on my hip. And the teacher's telling me, it's fine if you do Tai Chi. This is fun for you. You also can't break the 90-degree plane, so you can't go this far. You have to go here. So you can do your long bow, but it has to be like a short bow. You can do your short bow, and you can do your wushu crane, but you can't bend your leg. So trust me, when you can't get your complete range of training in, and you have a broken hand, which I've never broken a bone in my life, except maybe my toe a few weeks back, you can't get the full detail of what is needed. And if you've never fought somebody while you were wounded, then you have no idea how to fight somebody with a broken hand. Plus, their cast will probably hurt you. But I will tell you this. Your size, 5'3", means nothing in a fight. Because when a fist is being thrown at your face, You think you're going to remember how big that person is when that fist is inches from your nose? No, you're not. That's going to be the last thing on earth that you're thinking about is, oh, this guy's 6 feet tall. No, fuck that. You're going to be thinking, I need to duck that shit. I need to block it. And then I need to retaliate. You know, you need to be ready. A lot of people are telling you the size doesn't matter. A lot of people are telling you the size does matter. I'm here to tell you, believe what you want, but size don't mean shit to me, because the bigger you are, the harder I get to hit you. It also just means that you're going to underestimate me and throw me the fight, which a lot of people over 6 feet tend to do. A lot of people over a certain amount of height just believes that their size makes them invincible. No one is invincible. No one. Now, unbeatable. There are a few people that are unbeatable. And maybe they're just unbeatable for you. Because a very well-trained fighter can still be beaten. And he can be beaten by someone who sucks. Buster Douglas proved that. In the boxing world, the biggest upset in the history of mankind was when Mike Tyson lost to James Buster Douglas. You guys probably weren't born then, but go Google it. That was like the biggest upset in the history of the world. And I think everybody in Japan was really shocked because I think they all had their money on Mike. And Iron Mike didn't win that one. So, in closing, most important thing in a fight, your skill level, your fighting experience. Those are the main things you need to worry about. Your training is very important. You need to train every day. You need to eat, breathe, sleep, and drink. Training. When you can't get more than 5 minutes in, you need to get that shit in. When you can't get more than 2 minutes in, you need to get that shit in. And not just pick a day, okay, today we work on jabs. Hell no. That day you decide that you're going to work on jabs, you work on feet too. You can focus on your jabs. Add your footwork in there. Footwork is very important in a fight because you're going to need to be able to get out of the way. You're going to need to be able to shuffle. You're going to need to be able to do a lot of shit. If you haven't been trained to do that, that's kind of not your fault. That's your teacher failing you. Now, again, in closing, so I can get in the house, go take a shower. The human body is an intricate track of nerves, veins, pathways of life and death. In Kung Fu, they train you to fight to die so that you will fight to live. In karate, which was basically set up in America as an art of self-defense, they teach you to defend yourself. They teach you to block, to block, to block. If they don't teach you how to block with your legs in karate, go to a different karate school. They don't teach you how to block with your legs in Kung Fu or Taekwondo, which basically is Muay Thai. You know, block. You're going to block that kick. You're going to block that kick. You're going to sidestep. You're going to hit one of these. They don't teach you all the possibilities of blocking. How many different angles you can block from. Go to a different school. Now, granted, some of the school teachers might not know that shit, which is good because they don't know it. Then y'all can work together on that. But you have to remember that a punch or a kick can come from any angle and you need to be ready. And once again, your size don't mean shit in a fight. Your skill level is everything. Your fighting experience is everything. Keep that shit in mind as you go on through your day training and whatnot. My name is James Williams Jr. For Kung Fu Havoc #2, be seeing you. For Instagram,